Welcome to our webinar, Tuition, Financial Aid, Scholarships, and Military Benefits. We are excited to have all of you join us today. My name is Connie Watson with Parent and Family Relations here at Texas Tech University. And joining me today are Brooks Gustafson from Student Financial Aid and Scholarships, Cheyenne Jackson from Student Business Services, and Sarah Carrillo from the Military and Veterans Programs. This webinar is part of our Red Raider Family webinar series where we share information on topics of interest to parents, families, and supporters of our students. We hope this webinar will help better understand some of the financial support resources available to your students. We plan to keep the webinar to about 30 minutes or so. So if there's time at the end, we will open it up for questions using the Zoom Q&A feature found at the bottom of your screen. In the meantime, feel free to type in your questions throughout the presentations. We have some folks working behind the scenes to help answer those for you. We are recording this session and posting it to our website, so you will be able to review again later and share with others. We will also send this webinar to the email address you provided when you registered for the webinar. So let's begin. I'm going to turn this over to Brooks. Brooks, take it away.
Hello, everyone. My name is Brooks Gustafson in the Financial Aid and Scholarship Office, here to talk about next steps for you for this upcoming school year. Hopefully, you've done everything that you need to leading up to now, and this is just kind of what you need to do between now and the start of the fall semester. So make sure your students are checking their offer. If they've completed the 25-26 FAFSA already, if they've been awarded a scholarship, anything like that, they're going to have an offer ready for them. We email those to those TTU email addresses that they set up when they apply to the university. When they get accepted, they set up that at ttu.edu email address. We send all that information there. Usually that starts with a FAFSA or being awarded a scholarship or the combination of both. If you haven't done 25-26 FAFSA yet, it's not too late to do it. Submit that now. Get that to us, and we'll automate it. Once that gets to us, we automatically send you a financial aid offer. Part of the offer that can be a little confusing is that you will see cost of attendance. That is not your bill. Cheyenne and SBS will talk about what your actual bill is, when that will come, those kind of things later on. But cost of attendance, just an average of a lot of different things that you could or could not pay during your time as a student. Some directly to the university, some indirectly, kind of around your time as a student. Any scholarship, any grant through the FAFSA is going to be awarded through that RadarLink. So students log into RadarLink. Everything they do is going to be through RadarLink. That's where they'll view their aid, view their bill, register for classes during orientation. All those kind of things will be in RadarLink too. So, and then again, if they have direct loan eligibility through the FAFSA, it'll be offered there too. Any missing requirements, anything that they need to do, will be again communicated via email. They'll send those things. They're automatic. But they can log right in and complete those missing requirements, submit missing documents, view loans, accept scholarships, complete thank you letters. If they need to do any of those things, they will be listed there. If there's no missing requirements, nothing they need to do. So because the 25-26 FAFSA uses 2023 tax information, 2-year prior tax information, obviously a lot can change in those 2 years. So anything that can affect your ability to pay for college within your household could result in you getting some more financial aid if you submit this special circumstance form. This is a thing specific through the university, not through the FAFSA. Once you submit that FAFSA using that 2023 information, you can work with our office to get that updated to what it is now. So if something has happened within your household ability to pay for college, then you can do these things. So loss of employment, separation and divorce. So again, there were two incomes in the household when you filed taxes in 23. Now there's only one. You can submit some documentation, back that up. We can remove one of those two incomes, recalculate everything on the FAFSA, hopefully get you some more aid. Loss of child support, medical expenses, and that's medical expenses after insurance. Death of a spouse or parent. And this last one, deduction of a one-time payment. That's if you were to cash out a 401k or retirement or something like that during that 2023 year. You include that in your taxes. You're obviously not cashing out that every year. That would be nice, but that's nothing that you get to do. So again, if that's something that was included on those 2023 taxes, obviously not something you're going to do every year, then we can remove that, recalculate it, hopefully get you some more aid. You can find those forms on our website. or at the individual meetings at orientation. So if you come with your students to orientation, come to our one-on-one meetings. I'll talk about it here in a sec about what's going on there. We can give you those forms, or you can find them on our website. Just make sure you're looking at the 25, 26 version of those forms, not the 24, 25. The one for the previous year is going to be on there too. So just make sure you're looking at the right one. So, this is a big question we get in orientation. What scholarships are available? What else is there for me to do? Your student applied to every single scholarship on campus when they filled out their admissions application. Everything that they included in that admissions application was their scholarship application. So those transcripts, SAT and ACT scores, those essays they wrote, recommendation letters they attached to that admissions app. Everything that you did there was your scholarship application. You've already applied to everything. Nothing more you need to do. We have awarded all of our scholarships for 25, 26. Probably spent some more money than we needed to, but some other people in our office get to deal with those things. So you can start working on what you need to do to keep the scholarships that you have for next year and earn scholarships for next year for 26, 27. So make sure your students know the renewal requirements for the scholarships that they've been awarded for 25, 26, merit scholarships through the university office. Scholarships through their college or their department will also have renewal requirements. Make sure that they know what they need to do to keep those for sophomore, junior, senior. Some of those things, some may have you need to log in and accept these scholarships by a certain date. Some are going to have hour and GPA requirements. Some are going to have thank you letter requirements. All of those things are things that they need to communicate with their scholarship donors. And then you will reapply to every scholarship every single year, just like you did through your admissions application. You'll do that starting on October 1st. That application closes February 1st. So doing that over Christmas break is a great time to do that. So this is our freshman merit model. These things have already been awarded. If you've sent us what we need from you, the big thing here is these renewal requirements down here at the bottom, like we just talked about. Wherever the dollar amount that your student has, their GPA and their hours down there in the bottom right corner. So 30 Texas Tech hours, that's fall, spring, and summer hours, adding up to 30. And then the GPA within those hours, wherever they fall. So just a reminder of those renewal requirements there. And then the same here for our transfer merit scholarship. So if your students graduated high school, went to another 2-year, 4-year school on their way to Texas Tech, they are considered a transfer student. They would have been reviewed for one of these two transfer scholarships, whichever one they received, the renewal requirements down there at the bottom, the GPA and the hours earned per term. So external scholarships, a lot of students are going to bring a bunch of external scholarship money, whether it be through high school teams, clubs, or groups, external applications they filled out through their employer, parents, employers. We have a lot of students bring these through livestock shows and those kind of things. There's a lot of that money out there. So how do you get that money from you to us? So there's a few different ways. You can bring it to us at the resource fair. Obviously not today. You're not at the resource fair right now, but the resource fair on day one of orientation or during our individual meetings. Again, we'll talk about that. You can bring it to us when you move in August. When you move in, you can bring those checks to us then, or you can mail it to us. That address is right here below. Make sure if you send those checks to us via mail and they are made out to your name, you need to endorse them on the back. We can't do anything with it without you endorsing that or your student endorsing that. So make sure that you get those checks to us so we can get them to apply to your bill before that payment due date. So student loan options. At orientation is a really good time to start shopping these loan options around. There's a lot of different options for you. At the individual meetings, we can help you project your costs, how much aid you have, what is going to be left over for you to pay, and then your different options. So options for loans for students, loans for parents, the differences between federal and private alternative loans, all those kind of things is a great thing that we can talk about at orientation with the advisor that you sit down with. We will begin certifying these plus and alternative loans 2 days ago. We started that for the fall, spring semester. The sooner you apply to these things, the sooner we can process them, get awarded to your account so they're ready. The closer you get to the start of the fall, the more of these applications we get, the longer it takes us to process these things. So doing these early is only going to make your life easier. And again, if your students have accepted those FAFSA loans, those subsidized and unsubsidized loans, they may have requirements to complete master promissory note or entrance counseling. If they've done those already and they still have those missing requirements, you just need to be patient. We will turn our academic aid year over from 24-25 to 25-26 in mid-July or so, and that's when those requirements will clear for you. So if you've done them already and you're still getting emails about those missing requirements, just know that they'll clear when we turn the year over in mid-July or so. So important dates. I stole this from SBS's presentation, so you'll see something similar to this with their dates. But Student Business Services will send that bill to you in late July. Your bill, your classes, your dorm room, your meal plan, your parking, whatever it may be, specific to your student's account, will be sent to you in late July. And again, that'll go to your students, not to you. I'm sure Cheyenne's talking about how you're gonna get those emails sent to you also. So between when you get that bill in late July and when we pay financial aid on August 15th, there will be about 2.5, 3 weeks in there where you have your bill and you know you have aid, but it hasn't paid yet. We get a million phone calls during that time. Nothing you need to do, but wait until August 15th for us to pay that aid. If it hasn't paid on August 16th, give us a call. We can work out why it hasn't paid, but we can't pay it any more than 10 days before the first day of school. So don't be part of that million phone calls we get because I'm telling you guys here today, right? So bill in late July, all of your financial aid, scholarships, loans, whatever is on your account will pay on August 15th. And then you have between then and August 20th to pay that remaining balance. With payment plans or those things that Cheyenne will talk about here in a second. Student employment, so how to get a job on campus while your students are here, put some money in their pockets during their time here, help pay for some of those kind of external costs, gas for the car, groceries, whatever else they may need. But student employment is a great way to do that. On this QR code, that rrsec.tt.edu website, all of the jobs for our incoming students will be available on August 1st. So move in August, get on there and shop these options. Feel free to scan this and save it, bookmark it until then. But you can get on there and compare wages. You can compare hours on campus or off campus. Most of them are going to be on campus. And then parents, we're not going to overwork your kids. 20 hours, 20 hours a week or less per week. So not going to overwork them. Plenty of time to be students and do everything that they need to do. Go to the football games on Saturdays, whatever. So plenty of time to be students on top of making some money as employees here. So each year, things that you need to do. So you're going to redo the FAFSA each year. It opens on October 1st. Our state priority deadlines are usually around February or so. So again, doing it when it opens, doing it over Christmas break is a great time. Students are home with nothing to do. They can knock this out. And same with that scholarship application. So each year you're going to do those things for the upcoming school year. So this August 1st, you're going to do it for the 26-27 school year. Same with that scholarship application. And that scholarship application is your scholarship application for everything on campus for your sophomore year. You'll renew scholarships you have currently with the renewal requirements that you have. And orientation. So orientation is 2 days. The majority of our orientation sessions are 2 days. Resource fair on day one, us, Student Business Services, our Red to Black organization I'll talk about here in a second, are all in that resource fair ready to answer some questions for you. We'll do a presentation similar to this during that time also. The individual meetings we've talked about is in day 2 of orientation from 10 to 1:30. You can sit down with an advisor. We can pull up your student accounts, go over everything that you may need. What missing requirements you have. If you have scholarships, you can bring those to us. All that kind of stuff, kind of a little more in depth in your account. Go over what your questions are, those kind of things, a little more specific. And again, SBS and MVP are in there also to answer those questions. All right, and then Red to Black. They are not here today, but we included this slide. It is a great thing that every student should use. If I could go back and do anything different during college, I would meet with them on the first day of school. Red to Black is peer-to-peer financial coaching, financial literacy, help you learn how some spending habits and budgeting and things that we all figured out way later than we needed to. But this Red to Black organization, again, students, PFP students, junior, seniors, grad students that can help other students just create some finances and budgeting things and things like that you usually don't think about until later on. But this Red to Black organization is a great one, free for students and parents to use. Please use them. It's a great thing. It's a great thing that a lot of universities have copied. We started it here at Tech, and it's only getting better. So a great organization. And then some information here. Feel free to take a picture of this so you guys can get on to the next slide. I talked too long. Thank you guys.
All righty. Thanks, Brooks. Before we get started, I've got a couple of questions on orientation. I want to go ahead and address those. Yes, parents can come to orientation. You can get through orientation services. I'll drop that link in the chat. Also, information is shared throughout with our Red Raider Family Network, as well as your students' email through admissions information. You'll want to check that as well. But I'll shut up now and hand this over to Cheyenne. So Cheyenne, take it away.
Okay, so student business services were everything regarding your e-bill and just how that bill is paid. And so just everything kind of regarding your tuition and fees as a whole. Okay, so again, like our important dates, your most important date that you really need to know is going to be August 20th. So by this date, your student needs to be paid in full, enrolled into a payment plan, or have enough financial aid accepted to cover 95% of their tuition and fees. So like their award package, it can't just be sitting in there offered, like they actually have to go in, accept that aid, so it can be applied to that, their tuition and fees. So again, August 20th, put it in that calendar, put a star on it, like just know that that date is going to be super important. Okay, so some of them were kind of a little checklist for you, like these are just kind of step by steps. So every student will need to complete their financial responsibility agreement. It's just kind of auto like pops up when you log into RadarLink. It's super easy to do. The Global Electronic Consent gives your student access to their RadarLink account for 480 days, like after graduation or after they leave Texas Tech. And it also allows us to like email you your 1098T and things like that. So it makes life a little bit easier around like tax season. We also recommend that they download that Outlook app and start getting used to checking those TTU emails because it's not just our department, but a lot of people will start communicating with them through that TTU email. And so just kind of get used to it and like turn those notifications on. If you're expecting a refund, you can sign up for My Direct Deposit. You will put in your own specific bank account information in there. And through that, we won't have to mail you a check. You'll get that refund just a little bit faster. It can be the student's bank account, the parent's bank account. It can be a savings account that you want to use to pay for the future semesters. That's up to y'all. Either way, y'all are choosing that bank account information. Authorized users, we highly suggest setting that up if the student is not going to be responsible for paying their e-bill alone. So that gives parents, guardians, aunts, uncles, great aunts, whoever, the ability to log in and have access to that e-bill, and they can do everything that the student also has access to in their e-bill. So super important. And it's completely different through FERPA. So FERPA just gives our office the ability to talk to you about your student's bill and answer those questions. Just remember that 4-digit PIN that you set up, please. And whenever you like email us or call us, be like, this is my student's R number. This is my 4-digit PIN. This is my question. Please help me. And it'll help you get your questions answered just a little bit faster. And then check that e-bill regularly. Know that you won't get it or your student won't get it until the end of July. So know that it's coming. Just is going to take a minute to get to you. But any changes, they make to registration, adding a class, dropping a class, their e-bill will adjust a little bit. So to access the e-bill, your student just logs into their Radar link. You'll click on Student Business Services and then e-bill, and it opens up in a nice new window for you. There you can view your real-time statement, and that is just literally a line-by-line breakdown of tuition, fees. Once financial aid is applied, it'll show all of that. If you're in housing, that's on there too. If you have any like benefits, like from like military benefits or anything, that should also show up on there. On your e-bill, you can also enroll in a payment plan. That's where you add the authorized users, so your student does have to go in and do that on your behalf. And you can also purchase our Grad Guard, which is tuition insurance, which I'll talk about a little bit more later. And if you need any like how-to guides for anything related to your e-bill or anything from our office, they are on our website. So you can just go to the go.ttu.edu/SBS help. Literally, whatever you need help with, put it in the search bar, or we have a chat feature, put it in there, and you can find whatever you need. So, payment methods online, we accept debit cards, web checks, and credit cards. Know that credit cards are the only ones that require a 3% processing fee. That's just through our third-party processor. So that's the only one, though, that has any external fees. In the office, we do debit cards, checks of any kind, so cashier checks, personal checks, whatever it might be. And we also do cash payments in person as well. If you're doing any kind of international payments, there's links to those through RaterLink. So there's Canberra and Pay My Tuition. You can look at the different interest rates on there and see which one's going to work best for you. And then if you're mailing us anything like a 529 check, those 529s are super popular. I didn't realize everyone like has one. You can just mail it to us. Know if you are sending anything like overnight, FedEx and UPS can be kind of finicky with our address. So we do have a different one, and that is online. So since you're not getting your bill until the end of July, you can use our tuition estimator. It is on our like TTU SBS website. You'll literally just put in like, I'm taking classes through this college, this many hours, and it'll give you a pretty accurate reflection of your tuition and fees only. So if your student is living on campus and has a meal plan, you'll just kind of add those fees on top of it. And you can see kind of like what you're going to be looking at for the semester. And so if you need help at the one-on-ones, we can help you kind of come up with an estimation for the semester if you would like us to. So come visit us too. So our payment plan options, so we have the budget payment plan. That'll open up pretty much whenever you get your first bill. When that's sent out to you in the end of July, that's when you can enroll into that. Literally, we'll just take your bill and break it up into 4 equal installments for you. The emergency payment plan will open up whenever your financial aid disperses, and it will break it up into 3 installments, and it's your mandatory tuition and fees only. So if you're in housing and have a meal plan, you'll still have to pay those fees, but you'll just have to have them paid by that final installment date because they won't be included in the payment plan. All of our payment plans are done on the e-bill. They can be done by the student or an authorized user. It's only $25 to get enrolled in a payment plan. There's never any interest or anything like that. It's literally whatever's on your bill divided. And it removes the student from the risk of being canceled. So we also process a lot of third-party paperwork. So third party is literally anyone that's not parents or family members or people like that that are helping pay. So if you have any federal and state military like benefits, any prepaid plans, like the Texas Workforce Commission, any international and domestic sponsors, any of that, we will have some paperwork that you'll do with our office to make sure that we can get those payments applied to your account. If you are using military benefits, you'll also work with the wonderful people in Military Veteran Program. We typically just call them MVP. They have like the best acronym. I love it. And they'll do a lot of the legwork, and then you'll give us like 2 or 3 sheets of paper, and then you're done with us. All of our paperwork you need is in our customer service portal. That's the go.ttu.edu/SBS help. It's all there. And it'll just make your life a whole lot easier. So our office, we also have a lot of exemptions and waivers that come through. So we do a lot of like the bordering county, bordering state paperwork. It's also any like blind deaf waivers. We've done a lot of adoption exemptions, valedictorian scholarships, because those are technically exemptions, come through our office. There's like a long list of all of that stuff. They come to our office. feel free to like submit those through that exemption and waivers right there in our service catalog. It's a wonderful screenshot. It's literally right in there. You can do like pictures, PDFs, any of that kind of paperwork, send it to us. The earlier you send it, the better off you are because some of it can take a little bit of time to process. So the summertime is a perfect time to do it for the fall. So our tuition insurance, it's called Grad Guard. It covers for if your student gets sick, if they get injured, if there's any kind of mental health issues that happen. It also helps cover if like the parents or someone that's helping pay the students tuition and fees if they lose their job. It covers that as well. If your student's living off campus, it helps cover the cost of rent so they can get back home to you. It runs a little over $100. It's around like 120, I think, per semester. And so it's a good thing to look into. So every semester, 3 days prior to the first day of class is payment due date. We will send emails and we will call you or the student whenever they're at risk for cancellation. If you're an authorized user, you should be getting all the emails as well if there's any risk of cancellation. So it's another reason why it's just a good idea to be added as an authorized user. Um, Students worked really hard to get their schedules like perfect at orientation. And if they are canceled, their schedules that they worked really hard to build are not guaranteed. And so they have to re-register and you don't ever know what those classes are going to look like. So they're forewarned when they're going to be canceled. So if you need any help with your bill or any questions, always let us know beforehand. Yeah. And then this is all of our contact information. So yeah, we have a chat feature. You can call us. If you leave us a voicemail, we call you back. And then our website where you can also email us as well.
Alrighty, so hi, we're the Military and Veteran Programs. Here, if you guys want to take a picture of this, has our address. We are at 2500 Broadway Street, second floor, West Hall, Suite 242. Our phone number 806-742-6877, and you can always reach us via email at mvp@ttu.edu. So Military and Veteran Programs was created in 2010 as a department dedicated to assist veterans and their families in achieving academic, personal, and professional success. At this time, we would like to say to all military families, thank you for your service. A few of the things we're going to talk about today are going to be federal VA benefits, such as Chapter 33 Post 9/11 GI Bill, Chapter 35 Survivors Dependent and Education Assistance, also known as DEA, state benefits such as Hazelwood, payment plans, which are serviced by Student Business Services. We do touch on this because we do need you to understand that benefits processing can take a minimum of 30 business days to be completed from start to finish. So taking advantage of the military payment plan is the best thing to do. That way you're not stressing, your kids can go to school and you know that your benefits are going to get applied. So please note that Texas Tech is a yellow ribbon school. Whenever you are wanting to use federal benefits, you'll want to make sure that you have a certificate of eligibility, also known as a COE, for federal benefits. You won't want to acquire this before classes start, and you can do that at va.gov. We do have Chapter 33 Post 9/11 Transfer of Educational Benefits, which pays tuition and fees, and it provides a monthly housing stipend and book stipend. We do also have Chapter 35, Dependent Educational Assistance. This does not pay for tuition and fees. However, it does provide a monthly housing stipend amount depending on your enrollment status. These funds are going to be deposited directly to your VA designated student bank account. So make sure you are checking what you have listed there because that can be different than what you have with Texas Tech. This red chart here is going to be our stipend chart. So as you can see, anything less than 3/4 time for Chapter 33 does not get a stipend. Chapter 35 is going to be based on tuition and fees, and these are estimates of what students can get. The black chart here is our enrollment status chart. We do have a lot of students who get confused in regards to what is full-time with financial aid versus what is full-time with military and veterans. So here you're going to see like undergrad for regular terms in full summer is 12 hours, graduate is 9 hours. Undergrad for summer is 4 certified hours and graduate is 3 certified hours. So this is just kind of the timeline that you're going to want to follow each semester. We did have some questions about this in the chat. Once your student registers for classes, at that time, you'll want to go into the Military and Veteran Program form portal and submit your VA certification request. There are going to be 2 sections. The top section is if you are needing access to that certificate of eligibility. The bottom section is if you want to go ahead and submit your application with the Military and Veterans Program. Once you've done that application, please make sure to still submit your third-party agreement and a copy of your certificate of eligibility to Student Business Services. Please note that the early registration date is designated by student classification. So if they're freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, will determine when they get to register. But also as a military affiliated student, you could have the MVP or MVPD cohort, which allows early registration. We do ask that you submit VA certification requests via the MVP forms portal prior to the term start date. If you're doing Chapter 33, we do ask that it be at least 180 days prior, Chapter 35, 30 days prior. We do require both a certificate of eligibility and your degree plan. If you have questions on how to get that, you can definitely let us know. Standard billing for term is always before the first day of class, meaning you're going to have a bill, but we actually don't receive payment until after the fact. So Chapter 33 will pay book stipends before classes start if it was processed timely. Please note that we service over 1,500 applications and we do work them in the order received. So if you haven't received any communication as far as approval or denial, it's most likely because it's in queue, but you can always reach out to us if we need to check the status, or you can check that on your portal as well. Monthly housing stipends will pay after the student verifies enrollment with the VA at the end of each month. So these do pay in arrears. So for example, when your student starts in August, they will not receive their first payment until September. And these are the funds that go directly to your student. Please note the census date. That is the last day to drop classes with no financial penalty. Tuition and fees will be invoiced to the VA for Chapter 33 students. Make sure that you are checking the academic calendar as that is updated annually. Again, this is a good reminder to make sure that you are getting in that military payment plan, as it does delay Student Business Services standard billing dates. For traditional terms, it's about 2 months. Instead of paying in August, you won't pay until October. It is going to take those total fees and charges and break them into equal payments for you. And this allows for us, Military and Veterans Program, the VA, and Student Business Services to process and apply your benefits. Even if you know that you've done everything and you haven't seen your benefits apply, still go ahead and do that payment plan as a fail-safe, because again, we don't want you or your student to be stressed. Keep in mind for Chapter 33, you are required to submit a third-party agreement. This is an official notification to Student Business Services to expect tuition and fee payments from the VA directly. SBS will apply a placeholder for the amount that they're expecting on your student's account, and then the VA will pay us towards the end of the semester. These forms are crucial and require for you to be submitted to Student Business Services, and it goes to them directly. So if you send them to us, if we reach out, we may direct you back to them, but just keep in mind those all go to Student Business Services. Failure to submit these forms could actually lead to billing issues, such as late fees and delinquent email notifications. Nobody wants to get those emails that says that you're up for cancellation or that you're subject to a late fee, so just make sure that you are submitting your documents. You could also get a hold that prevents your student from registering for future terms. Now we're going to talk about our state benefits known as Hazelwood. This process is going to work very similar to our federal benefits. Once your student registers for classes, you can go ahead and then submit your Hazelwood application on our MVP forms portal. This one does have 2 parts as well. If it's your first time your student is attending Texas Tech, they will submit the initial application. If they are a recurring student who has not taken a break in terms, they will do the continuous application. Once you submit that application, your student will then go in and submit the military payment plan. Again, this is just to feel safe to protect them from any stress while they wait for benefits to be applied. So just to note what is covered by Hazelwood. Hazelwood will cover your student's mandatory tuition and fees. This does not include the following: student service fee, which is about $142, housing, hospitality, or parking. If you see a charge on there that you feel should be covered, please let us know. We can definitely take a look at it for you. The different type of Hazelwood exemptions that we offer are veteran, when they use their own hours, child legacy, which is veteran transferred hours, or child spouse, which is for veteran who is 100% totally and permanently disabled, unemployable, service-related disease, killed in action, or missing in action. For additional information, you can find this on our website listed here. You can also visit the Texas Veteran Commission's, also known as TVC, website for additional information. Here's an example of what we are going to need when you do your Hazelwood application. So the main form that we are needing is your DD-214. This is going to show, or we need it to show, your home of record or place of entry to be Texas. You have to have more than 181 active duty days, not including initial training. And character of service must be honorable or general. Please note for any students that are being billed non-resident tuition that there are military waivers available. These waivers are found on the Student Business Services website listed here. Military waivers that you can apply for include the following: certification of military personnel and dependents who enroll at Texas Tech, meaning active duty; veteran dependent military intent to establish residency, so anybody who has already served or their dependents. So anytime your student makes changes or that you hear that they've made changes, please make sure that they're reaching out to us. Usually they're going to talk to their advisors first, and we do ask advisors to direct students to us, but it's good practice to have your student reach out to us as well for any of the following: incomplete or missing grades, add or drop classes, withdraw from the university, major or minor changes. How can this actually affect your student? It actually does it in different ways. So changes could affect when and if benefits are applied. Drops affect enrollment status and will have financial implications, leaving the student with the bill and or decreasing the monthly housing stipend. Where this becomes an issue is if we've already paid the student or the VA has already paid the student and then they make changes, your student could be asked to send that money back. So please make sure they're talking to us before they make any changes like this. And that's everything. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Sarah, and the other presenters. I'm sorry I kind of missed my cue when you were starting your part, but thank you guys. If needed, folks that are still around, if needed, ask follow-up questions that appear in the Q&A. If you still have questions, feel free to drop. We'll stick around for a little bit to continue answering those questions. Just a reminder that we have recorded this session and it will be emailed and it will be available on our website. Again, we appreciate all that you do. We have a quick survey that we would like for you to take to kind of give us more input as to what we can provide for you in the future. And you can obviously contact us by using the email and phone numbers that have been provided to you during this webinar. And with that, we will conclude today's official webinar. But again, continue to ask your questions in the Q&A. We'll stick around for another 5 minutes. At that time, we will end our time together. So thank you again for attending. Thanks to our presenters. You guys are great. Lots of great information. So, welcome.